This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Mapper Forward's first on-demand workshop, How to Become a Coffee Consultant. Available now online for you to learn at your own pace with a certificate available upon completion. Click the link in the show notes to access today for just €50. Welcome to the Daily Coffee Pro by Mapper Forward, friends. I'm your host, Lee Safar, and this is the beginning of a new 5-part series with Mohamad Merhi from Cypher Coffee in the UAE. Welcome, Mohamad.
Hey, how are you?
Very good. Really thrilled to have you here. I am a new fan of Cypher and a new fan of what you guys are doing. You have a super slick operation going on. And we're new friends, and it was instant chemistry with the conversations that we were having, me, you, and Melissa from Branding Matters. So I couldn't leave that conversation and not say, Mohamad, you need to come on the podcast because you speak so openly about what it is to be an entrepreneur. And the openness and the integrity with which you speak about your journey is something that other people need to see in the industry. So thank you for being so generous in that first conversation that we had. And thank you for agreeing to come on the podcast and have another conversation about it.
Thank you so much for hosting me. And I'm looking forward to share all the knowledge that we've accumulated over the years with you and with the listeners.
Inshallah. So this series is the theme of this series is what it means to build a responsible business. Now, the mandate of Map It Forward is our long-term vision is creating an industry in the coffee industry that focuses on responsible businesses with responsible pricing models. And when we talk about responsible businesses, we believe that responsible pricing models carry across the entire value chain. Now, that can be really tough. But where we're going to start our conversation is at the rewarding side of building businesses. So let's get all the happy kumbaya shit out of the way. And then we'll get into the serious stuff that everybody wants to know about, like how they can do better. But what are some of the rewards of being an entrepreneur?
Deep question.
Yeah.
Look, I'll tell you that a big driver for me to have my own business is independency. I think it's not for everyone. I think it's kind of built inside you if you're going to be an entrepreneur or not. And it's about mindset. Okay. One of the great things that I value a lot is independency from a time perspective and from financial perspective and decision perspective. I make my own decisions in certain things, and you suffer the consequences of your own decisions. Whether they're positive or negative, that's something that you develop a knack for it over time. Definitely, if I want to highlight, this is what I want to highlight: independency. And if you value that as a human being, it's definitely there when you run your own business.
And you get that vibe when you walk into Cypher. Like you get you get this feeling in Cypher that everyone's autonomous and there's not micromanagement that happens at Cypher. Tell people what Cypher is, and then I want to kind of talk about how you take that philosophy of independence and build a business out of it so that it's something that's thriving, because it is thriving. It's a really impressive operation.
Yeah. So look, it's not an individual effort, definitely, but it's a thought process. I've learned a lot over the years of what not to do as a leader. And I kind of steer away from that. I had a lot of bad managers. I think actually the corporate world or the professional world lacks leaders. There's a lot of managers, technical people who are very good at what they do, and they just put them in that position just for the purpose that they're good technically. But being technical doesn't mean that you're going to be good at managing human beings and leading, really leading.
How do you define leading? Tell me what you mean by
setting
leading.
up setting up an example. One of my biggest responsibilities is to maintain a productive, happy environment for Cypher, and I thrive when I do that. And it's about sharing your feelings, sharing your being transparent, fully transparent about the financials of the company with your colleagues. You don't hide things from your colleagues. You're all at the same ship. You either sink together or you go on together. And people nowadays, like everyone is just really concerned about numbers, and they forget the feelings involved, and they forget that your colleagues are human beings, and you're a human being, and having the right balance in place will sustain the long-term longevity of the business, and that's super important.
Yeah. There's a real balance between understanding how to run a business that's sustainable and then understanding the culture that enables that to happen. Because if you've got a shitty culture in a company,
yes,
you're going to have a toxic environment, which leads to a non-profitable business, or it eventually leads to toxicity. When it comes to Cypher, everybody that I spoke to at Cypher seemed to have this kind of autonomy to make decisions and to do the things that needed to be done to execute their job really well. For you as a business owner, is that one of the things that you intentionally set out to create, or is that a byproduct of who you are?
For sure. Because this is the only way you can achieve sustainability in such a very tough environment in Dubai. Honestly, you need to have that startup mentality where each and every individual in here is responsible to make their own decisions. Look, if you don't make your own decisions, you're not going to do mistakes, and if you don't do mistakes, you're not going to learn.
I love that.
So big part of it is that I do mistakes on a daily basis. It doesn't mean like I'm a special one, you know what I mean? I'm leading this organization, yeah, but at the same time, there are a lot of new things that I'm doing that just, you start making these decisions, and sometimes it doesn't work. You learn from it. You should have the mindset that you take this experience, you understand it, you take the best out of it, and you try to prevent these similar mistakes of happening in the future. But if you don't do your own mistakes, furthermore, if people within this organization are not empowered to do their own decisions, then how are we going to grow? There's, each and every individual have a certain capacity, and you get to that specific capacity, and then you can't, you just have to, other people have to carry the weight with you. And in order for them to carry their weight, that means they have to make their own decision. And they have to look, what makes people believe and stick is when they start feeling that they are productive, and decision making is part of productivity as well. It's not only money, like people think it's only money, but it's not. Trust me, it's not.
I mean, we are in Dubai.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's the thing, that's a challenge that we face a lot. There's that, even when we go to origins, as soon as we tell them we're from Dubai, they think that cha-ching, this is the guy. But but it's in a way it's a good thing, because it makes I understand if this is a good long-term partner or not, because if I know what the prices should be at, and if I see him flying with the prices, that tells me a lot about this human being and his personality, and I avoid them.
What's the most rewarding part about being a business owner for you?
Giving.
Tell me what you mean by that.
The most rewarding part, I think, for any human being, for any responsible, and underline the word responsible for me, because a lot of people don't really know what being a responsible man or a woman or human being is. By giving, I mean sharing knowledge, I mean rewarding, I mean, seeing that your colleagues have grown as professionals
Mm-hmm.
as well as human beings. When I see that my colleagues are helping and supporting their families back home, building their own houses, sending their brothers and sisters to schools. And this is a part about entrepreneurship that people, it's extremely rewarding, you
Mm-hmm.
know, really. When you give and you feel what you're giving is having a positive impact on human beings, whether locally or internationally, is
Mm-hmm.
super amazing. It's a super amazing feeling.
It's a
I've
currency
seen
itself, right?
it's beautiful. And if you believe in karma in life, or you believe in anything, in goodness in life, you would know that this will come back to you in a positive way. Um, and to, like this is why I think entrepreneurs are actually, it's, I don't know, I don't want to use the word charity, but like, it's, in a way, you're creating a livelihood for human beings
Yeah.
and their dependents. And this is what responsibility is. This is
Yeah.
actually the heaviest weight for me as a leader for this organization, is how can I continue providing and making sure that my colleagues can continue provide for their families.
This is why when people from the corporate world come into this industry, and they either want to consult in this industry or they want to own businesses in this industry, it's really difficult to get them to understand that this is a whole different way to play in business. Because now when you're the business owner and you want to say, I want to hire somebody, not only is it that you have to make the right decision to hire somebody, you have to find the money to pay that person, not just for the next 3 months, but you are going to take on board the responsibility of that person's financial livelihood for the time that they're working for you. If you can't find a way to generate that person's salary, you jeopardize that livelihood. It's this deep sense of responsibility that people seem to take, not like people don't see when they come into business from outside of our industry. They don't quite see the gravitas of something like that.
100%, because it's a very important point what you're saying, because it's the mindset. One of the toughest part about shifting from an employee into a business owner is the mindset.
Mm-hmm.
That mindset is exactly what you said, as well as if you don't hustle, you ain't getting
Exactly.
your salary at the end of the month. You know what I mean?
Oh,
As well
yeah.
as, you're not gonna, but and the mindset that, look, it's not 9 to 5, it can be 9 to 12, or it can be 11 to 6.
Yeah.
It's how efficient
Yeah.
you manage your time and manage to finalize the job on task.
Yeah.
That's the difference. As like in a corporate environment, not all and not everyone, but some people can get away with doing the minimum. You know what I mean? You can't. You
No
just literally
way.
can't. In a small environment, you can't.
No.
You
You
can't.
are the product maker, you are the bookkeeper, you are the marketer, you are the HR department, you are all of it. In the
But can I be
beginning, you were
honest
all
with
of
you,
it.
Lee?
Yeah.
I actually enjoy that, because
Yeah,
I'm not.
man.
I have an attention deficit issue. So
So it keeps
give
your
me,
brain fed.
yeah, because in certain circumstances, I you know at the beginning when I first started, like, I was roasting, and then I'm like, I'm bored. Like, I need to
Yeah.
do something else. So going to visit clients, looking at the numbers, doing the books, and putting 1 hour here, 1 hour there, 1 hour. It's for me, it was super
Satisfying.
cool,
Yeah.
satisfying, because I can't do one thing for 8 hours. That's for
No.
sure. That's not my
No.
personality.
Bro, we're not built to be corporate people. People like us,
Yeah,
it's just not going to work for us at all.
yeah.
So we have talked about the kind of rewarding sides of being an entrepreneur. Now we're going to talk about some of the challenging sides of building a business. So join us for the next episode, folks, where we'll start exploring some of the rougher parts of this journey. Peace, love, and peanut butter. Have an amazing rest of your day. Thanks for tuning in, friends. There are 2 ways you can support this podcast. Firstly, become a paid member of our YouTube channel. Secondly, you can join our Patreon for as little as $3 a month. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video before you leave, and check the show notes for more information. Now, this is what you should check out next.